if you stop posting to Instagram, you'll actually grow your business.
What? This is Useful Not Famous. I'm Amara Andrew.
I'm Jeff Sarris.
And this is the show where we teach you how and why to create video content to help build your brand.
Yeah.
Brand of what?
Make more money.
Brand of skulls.
But yeah, so most people get their funnel, their marketing funnel wrong, like organic content marketing. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about interest graph versus social graph, which we've talked about before, but we are diving in a little more detail. I'm setting the timer right now because I almost forgot.
The useless timer that we never adhere to.
There we go. We have 5 minutes. 5 minutes on the clock for the first segment. Today we're going to do it. We're doing 5 minutes on...
Right.
Yeah, interest, social. So first, what are the platforms that we're talking about?
I was even going to say, I want to break down the funnel a little bit. So it's top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. Top of funnel is where you're going to reach people first. So it's like lead capture, essentially. I forget. I have a better way to say it.
Well, yeah, top of funnel is where you find new people.
Yeah. And then middle of funnel is when people already kind of know you. And then they're like, oh, okay, I fuck with this person. I probably shouldn't even be swearing yet. I'm going to get demonetized. Like we're
not monetized, you ding dong.
Not on this platform. And then at the bottom of funnel, it's where people already know, like, and trust you. So then it's like, that's for sure. Like, I'm ready to buy or work with this person. Mm-hmm. So that's the funnel that we're looking at. So for right now, tell me things.
Yeah. So top of funnel would be how we we're talking about organic content marketing, how we organically reach people. So top of funnel would be how we can have new people discover us. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm sorry. I was just thinking when I look back at this to make clips, I'm like, I look like a little kid because I'm just like, hi.
You're silly.
Anyway.
But yeah, we're talking about top of funnel. We're talking about organic content marketing, specifically video. Specifically video is what we do.
Yes.
Okay. So what are the 4 platforms we're talking about today?
So we're going to talk about, I thought you were going to say food groups. I was like, carrot cake. I just made carrot cake. That's why. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Yeah. And they're very different platforms with very different purposes. Mm-hmm. And like how you teased in the hook, so many people, so like we primarily work with real estate agents. So that's kind of going to be our focus group for everything that we talk about. We see so many people post to Instagram and Facebook only, which is a big mistake for your business.
Well, yeah. So Instagram and Facebook are social graph. That means the people who know you, the people who you know, predominantly are the only ones that'll see your stuff. But what we want is we have Hiveway. It's sort of the framework for what we do. And we're going to be fleshing that out on this show more and more moving forward. But that's sort of level 2 of Hiveway. You've already leveled up past the first level of the game. But level 1, we want to get you going to the interest graph, the place where it's a search engine where people will find you organically. And level 1, the interest graph would be TikTok and YouTube. Mm-hmm. So TikTok. So the thing is, so what we would want, even though she is laughing and she doesn't want to agree, but you actually don't want to agree with this. So I'm reining you back in. I'm sorry. Because we're on track. We're doing well. We're 2.5 minutes.
Oh, shit.
But I know you're hesitant to say don't post on Instagram.
Only because everything that we do is so search-based and it's answering sort of FAQs, but like hidden FAQs. Like we go pretty deep with some of the things that we ask people, and it's on purpose. And because we make video content with realtors, blah, 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 blah. Maven.com. What is Maven.com? And so something that I focus on a lot is like answering those FAQs, as I know you know, because you built a bunch of businesses on it, blah, blah, blah. So I don't want to totally ignore Instagram because it does show up in search results, like pretty high up. But to your point, like I search for things on TikTok or YouTube primarily because Instagram to me they haven't quite figured it out yet. Like you said, because it's a social graph, it's not an interest graph. So it's not there to get people to find new things. It kind of has that component with the feed that you can scroll through, but it sort of doesn't. Like it doesn't give you things that are below a certain view count, like count, because it's very geared toward, oh, this is really popular. Everybody's going to like it because they want to keep people engaged. It's like, it's a whole different ball game versus TikTok and YouTube. Like, yeah, there are certain things like that, but it also pushes things higher up for search results.
Well, yeah, and you can think about it just naturally how you've found people on Instagram. More than likely, you've found them elsewhere. You found them on TikTok. You found them on YouTube. You found maybe their podcast because they were interviewed on someone else's podcast. Instagram and Facebook are social. That is one tier beyond where you're starting. If you're starting out, yeah, one tier down your face. Instagram and Facebook are social. That's one tier beyond where you're starting out. So if you are going to try to build your business and grow and reach new people, if Instagram is taking you away from creating on YouTube and TikTok,
Ooh, almost there.
if Instagram is taking you away from creating on YouTube and TikTok, stop posting on Instagram, because YouTube and TikTok are the two platforms where you're going to grow. You're going to find new people. You're going to be in front of a new audience, because the way that those platforms work is that they show new audiences to new people. And the way that Instagram and Facebook work is that they show you what your friends are doing. It's just a different platform. It doesn't mean it's not good. Like, we'll talk about it later, not today, but on another episode, when you introduce Instagram and Facebook into our Hiveway, our model for doing this.
Yeah, it's a totally different group of people, and it's still very good to have, but, and I would even take it a step further. If you're even choosing between TikTok and YouTube, I would actually go YouTube. I know it sort of depends on what the video content is, but no, it actually really doesn't. As I was saying that, I was like, I don't even fucking believe that or agree with that. YouTube.
Do you believe you would split though? Because I feel like anything you do, period, you can just post on both.
You can, but if somebody is, because like TikTok, I don't think you can schedule yet. I think that's something that they're rolling out, is a scheduler, or I think it's already rolled out. I haven't quite messed with it yet. But because you can schedule ahead of time with YouTube, that helps with consistency so much. Like that, being able to do that, I don't know. I love YouTube. I love its discoverability. I still have things pop up in search from like 5 or 6 years ago. Like I'm fully...
Meaning your content
my
that
content,
you've created.
my personal content. And even when I search for the people that we work with to see like, okay, where do they rank? Where do they show up? Blah, blah, blah. Like I fully believe in YouTube. I love TikTok because that's where I sowed my seeds, but that sounds gross.
But also you've had the most fun there.
Oh yeah, because it's just more of like a fun sort of thing. But YouTube is where people go to actually learn something and grow. I do the same thing with TikTok if I'm looking for specific things, but I don't know. There's just something about YouTube that I'll always go for over everything. But TikTok, obviously, I just love. It's like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
My favorite.
So those are the reasons why you should ditch Instagram and go to TikTok and YouTube, or even just YouTube. But
and it's
I
only
lean
temporary.
Well,
only temporary.
Yeah, and we'll explain when you would introduce it in another episode. But
yes,
5 minutes on the clock. We're on to the what we're up to section, where we're off to this week. And then after that, we will go into exactly how to start posting on those platforms now.
Yep.
5 minutes on the clock. Here we go.
So how's your week been?
How's my week been? I was actually thinking, where are we going this week? Because this will be a fun week.
Oh, I was like, where are we going? We are going to a conference, which will be fun. We're going to San Antonio, which I've never been. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been?
Uh-huh.
Oh, what the fuck? I didn't know that. Have you done the Riverwalk and everything? I'm the only virgin going on this trip.
So you told me how long the Riverwalk is. I have not done
it's
the
like
Riverwalk.
80 fucking miles.
I've like stepped on to it.
It's like the
near
whole
the
state
Alamo.
of San Antonio.
In the country of Texas.
Yeah, right.
You're like, did he hear it? I'm going to deadpan it. But yeah, so we're doing that. It's RevB, Real Estate Video Blueprint. We go to conferences, like we've talked about in previous episodes. We go to conferences not to learn. We really, when it comes to that stuff, like we're not there
Not to sound like a snob.
No. But this is what we do and what we've done for a very, very long time.
We would go to other sort of things to learn.
But yeah, we go to
YouTube.
What? Oh, yeah. Metaphorically go to YouTube.
Yes.
Not physically. There you go.
Whatever. Metaphysically.
Digitally. Okay, so
I'm very excited for all the history too in San Antonio. I've been reading a shit ton of things
but
because.
let me explain why we're going.
No.
But we don't go to conferences like real estate conferences to learn. We're not learning about video. We're not learning about social media. We're going there to, like we talked about in a previous episode, be the oddballs, the remarkable people there, because we're not meant to be there. Everyone else is a realtor. They're all learning about video. We literally provide the service that they're learning about.
Yes.
And this is what we say when you need to be in the right rooms. This works for you as a realtor, for any local service provider, anything. You want to be in the room where your potential customers are. So that's why we go to conferences. We make a bunch of friends. We sometimes find friends who become clients and top bananas, as we call them.
Yeah.
But that's why we go to these events. It's a lot of fun. We like meeting people, hanging out, and maybe we'll actually meet a future top banana.
It'll be fun. And learn all the history.
Well, this is the fun part, because this one is even more of a trip, it feels like. Not vacation, but we plan on doing so much more outside of the conference this year.
Well, yeah, because we're not in Orlando. Oh, my God.
That's her favorite city in the country of San Antonio.
Yes.
Whatever. But yeah, you're not a fan of Orlando.
That's basically it. Oh, we still have a shit ton of time on the
we're
timer.
doing. No, but what's the plan for us when we're there?
Well, I'm really excited, so I'm trying to get all my... I keep looking at the camera again. Hello. I'm going to have to do a supercut at one point, just where I keep looking at it, flirting with the camera.
Hey.
My boyfriend's here. Don't look. I've been getting a lot of... I like, too, that would be my flirty eyes. Like, that's how you know it's real. It's horrifying for those that are listening. Anyway, I am getting all my things ready because I need to record. I don't need to record, but I like to record history content. Like, because we get to travel all over the country, I want to start doing that more and take advantage of that. Not only to like go see people, work with people, but then for my own content, because there's fucking history everywhere.
And do you just enjoy
you can quote me.
We'll put that on the shirt. Yeah. No, that'll be a button.
That's my merch. Oh, we need to make our buttons. Buttons. But yes, I'm very excited. I thought that was your parents. I was like, they're early. I am very excited for all the history. Like, I was learning about the Alamo this morning. Not the car rental place, the actual historic monument. I don't know. I dove deep into all the things, but that's
and you've gotten back into creating your history content, which that's part of the fun and the experimenting, which we were just looking at view counts, which we don't really worry about, but your view counts on them is silly.
And it's always been pretty high because, I don't know, it's just inherently interesting stuff. Yeah. But I've been reworking how I talk about things because of all the I made 10,000 fucking videos or just 4,000 alone last year. So like I've learned a couple things how to reframe a video and it works. Like it is working. For vanity metrics, we'll see whatever it turns into.
Well, yeah, and that's more just for fun and experimenting with different things.
I just have fun. I like talking about history. If you like history, let's talk. If you're at RevB and you like history.
But yeah, I mean,
nerd.
The number of videos, you have almost 1 million views on one. You have like 30,000 on others, like several others. And you just started posting again, 2 weeks ago?
I think literally 2 weeks to the day.
It's just interesting how it goes. So it's just been fun. That's one of the other fun things. And now on the trips, you're going to be doing a little more history content.
Well, yeah, and it's more fun to be... It's so different. Not to go down a fucking rabbit hole. I'm going to keep it very tight.
It's tight.
Like
what?
my yes. It's like, I don't want to say it.
We have all our inside things that no one knows. But
nope. But they'll see it. Our psychosis. Anyway, there's something so different about being in person somewhere versus like I wish I had been starting again when we went to Italy last year. Oh, this time last year we were in Italy. I wish I had done that because there's obviously fucking history everywhere. It's history. It's history land. But I don't know. I forgot what the fuck I was saying. But it's so different being in the vicinity of a historic something, whether it's like an object, a building, person, whatever it is. It's so different. Like you do get an energy vibe. Man.
Well, that sort of leads into our how. So let's put 5 minutes on the clock.
How do you do?
And so the how for this week, how you should get on YouTube and TikTok. So sort of our top level of our hive way is...
I just had an idea. You can't go topless.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, people are going
Well,
topless
can.
on Instagram.
Oh my, which Instagram are you on?
But sort of our first level where you begin
Yeah.
is with talking head shorts and faceless out and abouts,
Yes.
because that's where it's easy. It's not as scary.
Mhm.
It's you can record yourself explaining something you know, and you can also have your phone and walk through your favorite restaurant, your favorite store. Like, your face won't be in it. This isn't growth and brand building. This is building your habit for creating social media.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, it's a great place to start. But then we'll start, like, you should then start progressing a little bit to different
Yeah.
things, which I won't.
Well, yeah,
I won't break the barrier. I won't get into it
break
yet.
the barrier.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, and that'll be throughout the weeks. We'll talk more about our whole approach, but
Yes.
starting
So
with
how?
talking heads. Yeah.
So, talking heads, well, I sort of teased it in our first part, which is answering not just FAQs, but so something that I recommend to people, specifically realtors, because like I said, we deal with a lot of real estate agents. Keep a document on your phone, whether it's in Google Docs, your notes app, whatever the hell, written on fucking parchment for all I care. Keep a document of some sort where you have FAQs from clients that you've worked with. Because if one person's wondering it, this is what I learned teaching. If one person's wondering it, at least 400 others, which if you're teaching a class that big, whoa. But like, if somebody has that question, 9 times out of 10, other people have it. At least one other person has it. So you should answer that question. Now, granted, this content isn't going to get you a shit ton of views, and it really shouldn't. You can make it a little bit more salacious when you talk about like money and mortgages and things like that. But so many agents are so scared to talk about finances and things like that, which I find really interesting, because that's the main thing that people think about when they think about a real estate agent is like, okay, how are you going to save me money on either side, whether you're buyer, seller, investor, whatever, which is a buyer anyway. But that's what people really want to know. And that's what you should sort of be going for, but also answering the questions that people are like, okay, I have no idea where to start. Tell me everything I need to know, essentially. I just went on a whole tangent.
Well, no, but that's perfect.
Starting
So
with that.
what would be 2 examples, like off the top of your head, that people, like someone could make this week if they were doing 2 talking heads?
So one really easy one that I like to start with for someone that's not, so talking about where you live is so easy because you live there. You know a lot about it. And hopefully you've lived there if you're an agent for a little over a year, but if not, that's fine. But something I really like to do with people when we start is, what are 3, or you can even chop it down to like 2 disadvantages of living in X? Because people want to know, okay, this place seems fine and dandy, but what sucks? Like, people want to know what the bad parts are. And if you don't have any disadvantages, you can even flip it and be like, ugh, it's too beautiful. Ugh, the weather's too perfect. Ugh, the people are too nice. And like flip it like that. So it's sort of like tongue in cheek. But that's one of the main questions that I always ask people. And then what would be another one? Yeah, for sellers specifically, I would do.
Yeah, the first is mostly a buyer's one.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. We'll talk about it again. But you have your buyers, you have your sellers, and you have realtors. Like, who are your clients?
Yeah.
So we're focused solely on buyers and sellers.
Right. Yeah, sellers. I would have to look at my notes, actually. Putting me on the spot.
No,
Mr.
we'll start
Sarris.
with the one. How about this? So that's one talking head. Now, what about an out and about, a faceless out and about?
So I would always say go to a coffee shop as the first thing, because it's super chill. It's a very transient sort of place. If you start recording in a restaurant, A, people don't want to be recorded while they're shoving their face. And then B, did I start with letters or numbers? Huh, well, we'll find out in the
And
post.
D.
And Q. No, not Q. Like, and then B, 2, whatever. It feels weird recording in a restaurant, which is why when people do faceless content, they want to just pretend, sort of like, it's less weird if you're walking through just like recording on your phone versus if you're like, hey, I'm here at Joe DiMaggio's restaurant, whatever the fuck, like, be like, wow, he has a restaurant. So I always say start with coffee shops just because then it's pretty easy to do. Restaurants are a little bit trickier, because you want to eat at the actual place. I know I started with A this time. You should typically try to eat at the place, or at least have B-roll of what the place offers, because if you talk about a place and you don't have the food, it feels a little weird.
The
And we've
B-roll
run
is
into
getting
that.
sort of beyond even what we'd have them do.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm going down a whole fucking rabbit hole.
Well,
But
yeah.
I would say start with a coffee shop, because then that's just the easiest thing to start with, because it is a transient space, and then it's easier to talk about and highlight. And if you don't like coffee, that's fine. Most places have tea. You could even just say that. So like someone we work with, she does not like coffee. So she'll get a hot chocolate, she'll get a lemonade, like whatever. And then just highlight that, or highlight the food, or whatever the hell. So that's what I would
Yeah.
recommend.
So this week, that's 2 things that you can do to start with your level 1
Yes.
of building your content, getting more customers, getting more leads, and being found organically.
Yeah. So
that would
that's
be
2 or 3 disadvantages of living in your space.
And that's a 1 minute or less talking head video where you're just
Yes.
talking right to your phone.
Yes. And then the next one is go to your local coffee shop, film it, do your voiceover afterward, or I'd prefer you be in it, at least for the intro.
Well, for this one, because this is faceless out and abouts, this is level 1. This
no,
is
I know, but even just like
I
a
know.
little, just like, I love this coffee shop.
But when we break it down in the context of our whole plan,
well, yeah,
that's
then
fine.
you
Because
start
this
with
is
just
really,
B-roll.
this is just habit.
Yeah.
It's habit forming. So, yeah, you walk in, you hold your phone, you walk through less than a minute of walking and recording, then you just order whatever you're doing, and you can do a voiceover later to explain why you like it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
So you
And
can
then-
do it.
Yeah, and then if you want one more, go to myhiveway.com. That's where we have our content
And
ideas
maybe
for
it'll be a
realtors.
seller one.
Yeah, so that's it for this week. So, yeah, get off Instagram, get on YouTube and TikTok if you want to build your business.
Yeah. Don't be stupid. Just kidding. I love you.
And we'll talk more about the rest of the Hive way of doing things later.
Bye.